Welcome to New Life Devotions, leaning into encouragement and taking our next steps in following Jesus. Today we continue in a survey of Romans.
How's it going? Brian Lingard here, and welcome to my home office here in quarantine. I work out of this trailer, which is pretty nice. Have here baby monitor, and I wanted just for a second to talk to you about Romans 11 verse 36, and it says, "For everything comes from him and exists by his power and is intended for his glory. All glory to him forever." And this summer I had an opportunity with some friends and my family, my wife and my daughter, to visit Montana. And I had never traveled to Montana in the summer. I'd been once in the winter. I got snowed in, but like summer, it was beautiful. And we drove through Idaho. And I told my wife Kayla, as we began to drive into Montana, we were going into Billings, Montana, in the Bitterroot Valley. And as you begin to drive into Montana, it's like I had this feeling like I was shrinking, like my car was getting smaller and smaller and smaller as these mountains and trees and like all of nature just got bigger around you, and everything in Montana is just like ginormous. You feel like you're tiny. They call it big sky country, and I don't know how they did it, but the sky is bigger. There's something in the atmosphere. The sky in Montana is bigger, and every night and like most mornings we'd go fly fish. And we'd stand in like the most beautiful fly fishing in the world. It's like world famous. And we'd be in these rivers, and you just like, there's this sense of just calm and peace as you're just fishing. And standing there in the river, I just had this sense that like we're in a river of time and space. And we kind of just have our spot right here in this moment in history, in this moment in our lives. And we can't really adjust a lot of the river. Like, we can't really alter the flow. And standing there fishing, like, I couldn't change the river, but I could stand where I was standing. And I just believe that God's called us to be where we are. And what I think Paul is expressing in Romans at the end of chapter 11 is that all of this is created by God for his glory, and his holiness is like, it's just like the water that's in the river, and all of it comes from him. And if you think about just even a river, we were fishing, these fish are coming from upstream and they're coming down the river. And it's easy in our life sometimes just to get focused on the things that feel like, you know, they're failing, or that they aren't good enough, or are broken, or messy, or sick. And we forget that upstream there's a really good God, and downstream there's a beautiful future with him. And we have this moment here in the river, and we can kind of only really affect like what's around us. But what effect can we have today? And what effect are we putting into motion that's going to affect downstream? Because we're all in this river, and at some point we're going to be reunited with our Creator, and we're going to look at Jesus face to face. And I want to say that I did the best in my spot in the river, knowing that God's glory was just flowing down. So can I pray for you today? Jesus, I thank you for the good work you're doing in people's lives. I thank you for river moments where we get to see some perspective. I pray you'll help to continue to shape our perspective, that we know that your glory is just like flowing upstream to us and through us, and downstream there's a beautiful future, and that we actually get to affect the small space around us, and this moment in time in history, and that effect actually goes downstream even further to more generations and a legacy of you. Thank you for the good work you're doing. In your name, amen.